Hey everybody, welcome to Bones Collector. It's been a little while since I've done a video, so I had to get busy and get one out. I've been had people visit from out of town, and I've been really busy running around Orlando here, having a good time. So I've finally got something on the cooker here. But Lori and I were sitting around thinking about Dice Tower Con coming up in July, and one thing that's going to happen when we go to Dice Tower Con is we're going to come back with some more games. And we're going to have some new games, and we're going to play as many games as we can. And I think we play in the neighborhood of 100 to 150 games every year. Some games are new, some games are old, but whenever we bring a game into the house, of course, something has to leave. So that's really what the topic of conversation is when we're considering going to Dice Tower Con, is what games can we jettison to bring something new in, because we know we're going to like some. We know we're going to like some new games, and we were talking about that the other day, and the one that came to mind is a game that I'm going to talk about today called Burano. And we haven't played this in a little over a year, so you know, we were kind of wondering, is this game still hold a nice spot in our heart like it did the first time we played it? Because we loved it when we played it the first time. And it came out in 2015, and the designer is Yu Chen Sang and Eros Lin, and I believe they're from Taiwan. And it's a 2 to 4 player game. It plays in 90 to 120 minutes, and that's pretty accurate. If you play 2-player, probably 90 minutes, 3-player, 120. And then the age, it says 14 plus, and I think that's pretty accurate too, because this game is, it's complex and fun. But it's about, obviously, the city of Burano, and you know, we were talking, are we going to keep this? Is this one game that we can get rid of to make room for another? So I'm going to tell you about, I'm going to show you a little bit about what Burano's about, and there are other videos on YouTube to show you, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about what the game is about, and then I'm going to come back and tell you whether we're going to love it or we're going to leave it. So here comes Burano right at you. Okay, this is a finished game of Burano. We actually just got done playing for the second time, and it is a game that revolves around a cube pyramid that you're going to build at the beginning of the game and at the beginning of each season. The game is played in 4 seasons. So to start the game out, you're going to get, there's 6 colors of these big cubes, and you're going to get 3 of each of those colors, and you're going to build a cube pyramid on your player board right here. And that's what the whole game revolves around, is this cube pyramid. And when you're building it, there's a lot to take into account. But at the beginning of the game, in your first play, you're not going to know what the different colors are going to be for and so forth. So basically, when you play it for the first time, you're just going to throw that pyramid together any way that it is. But the cube pyramid is what you're going to use to plan to do your actions. And the way you do that is on your player board, there's 3 spaces above the cube pyramid, and you'll select a cube from the pyramid and put it in that area. It's called the prep area. And that means from there, and that costs you an action. And on your player board, you can see that you have a space for 4 different actions, and those actions cost money. Except the first action. The first action, you get a coin, so you're always going to take that. And then beyond that, and you can see on the player board, it has, for the second action, it's going to cost you $2 total. Third action will cost you $5 total. 4th action will cost you $9 total. And then, you know, below those spaces, it has what it costs you: $3, $3, and $4. So actions cost money. So that's money is very, very tight in this game. It's one of the, I don't know, I played a lot of board games, and I played a lot of board games where money is very difficult to get, and this is as difficult as any of them to obtain cash. And you need cash to take actions, so that's something that you have to plan for in this cube pyramid. On this action board, this is the action board over here, and on the action board is where you keep track of the rounds of the game. The rounds are in seasons. It starts with spring, goes to summer, autumn, and winter. And you get a different number of turns for some of the seasons, and it has a box around the ones that are different. So you, in spring and summer, you're going to get 4 actions, and in autumn and winter, you'll get 3 actions. So the game goes pretty quick. That's all you get. And once you finish with a season, you take the tile and lay it to the side of the board as you click through them, and that way you can keep track of where you're at. Also on this action board, I'm kind of jumping around here, but also on this action board are your roof tiles that you use to build the houses on the main board. And these are these action spaces right here are what determines what actions you can take with your cube pyramid. So you can see these colors on these various actions. This action is shipping, this action is lace, this action is the bank, money. So if you have a cube that's orange or white, you can take the money action. If you place a cube on the main board that is yellow or pink, you can do lace. If you place a cube on the main board that is blue or green, you can do shipping. And that's really what this game revolves around. Also on this action board, you'll see this column of iconography, and this tells you exactly what to do to clean up after a season. You know, how to score the islands, how to score the lace, the unions in the lace factories, how to score your bonus points for your tiles, and the last part tells you to make sure you switch the first player token. So the iconography on this action board is very good. You just have to know what it means, and that's the challenge of this game, is figuring out what some of these iconography is on the player board and on this action board. So again, back to your player board, when you're building this cube pyramid, you want to look at these actions over here in the action board and ask yourself, what do I want to do? What can I do? You know, am I going to need money to take more than one action? If that's the case, then you better, when you build this cube pyramid, you need to take an orange or a white cube, or maybe more than one, and place it on top so that you can do that action first to get money to pay for more actions. And those are things you have to think about, and they're tough choices, because you may be in the toward the end of the game, and you're trying to go over in your head how much money you need to take a couple. Maybe you want to take 3 actions in order to complete a roofing tile on the main board, and to do some shipping, and to score as many points as you can. And it takes some really tricky planning with that cube pyramid, and that's the fun of this game, is that planning phase at the beginning with that cube pyramid, so that you can strategize and pick your path so that you can get as many points and maximize the points when you play this game. So also on your player board, so there's some iconography on here also, and it tells you how, that you do need to prep a cube, and then you place it on the main board, and then you place a roofing tile. So that's what this iconography is here. And on to the left of your player board is prestige. I think it's prestige track, privilege track, and you get privilege points, and you can spend them for different actions. And that's one thing you have to remember in this game, because as you can see, this is my wife's player board, and she, at the end of the game, still had 7 privilege points she hadn't used. And you don't want to have that, because I don't know if you get anything for them at the end of the game or not, but it's not wise to save those. You need to spend them, because at the end of the game, you can be caught short with money, and if you spend a privilege point, you can get a coin, just 1 coin, but that may put you in the next category for taking another action. That's very important. So this is your privilege point track. Also on your player board is this schedule wheel, and when you place your cubes on the board, okay, we talked about that being determined by this action board over here. Let's say I take an orange cube from this pyramid. You also have to release cubes, so that this green cube has to go before any of these other cubes can be played. So this would have to be prepped, and then you could start on this bottom row. And this let's see, let's not say that. Let's say we wanted to go to the lace factory. Well, you would have to prep this cube in the prep area, and then that would be one action. Then you move your marker to the second action, and you place this on the board, and they must be placed adjacent diagonally, just like that. You couldn't place the cube here because there's nothing diagonal to it. You have to place it so it's adjacent diagonally on the board. When you place that cube, you trigger this action. And when you trigger those actions, you have to take a look at your schedule wheel, and there's on that wheel are 3 arrows. Hopefully you can see those arrows on your schedule wheel. And whatever colors those are pointing to, those are the colors you have to match in whatever action you're taking. So that if you're doing the lace factory, you're going to, these arrows are pointing at blue, yellow, and green. That'd be blue, yellow, and green on the lace factory, and that's where you can place your ladies in the lace factory on those colors. Also, if you're doing shipping, it's the same thing. You're going to look at the schedule wheel, and wherever these red arrows are pointing, and again, it's the same thing, blue, yellow, and green, and you're doing shipping, these dock houses, the only ones you'll score for are blue, yellow, and green. So in this case of this, if I was moving here, and I was doing the shipping action, and my schedule wheel showed blue, yellow, and green, I'm only going to get fishing cards for 2 dock houses, because orange is not part of that schedule wheel right now where those arrows are pointing. So the yellow and green would score me, and the orange would not. So you have to look ahead when you're planning on shipping and see where your schedule wheel is, what colors it's pointing at. You have to match those colors to the lace factory. You have to match them to the shipping, so that's another planning. This game is all about planning, and you have to look ahead and ask yourself, where can I maximize those colors? And that's really the beauty of this game. And then also, once you can see here on the main board, we've been putting roofs on houses, because that's another thing that you can do. Once you place these cubes on the main board, you can begin to place roofing tiles on them. Now these roofing tiles, you get 3 of them only on your player board for the round, and at the end of the round you can replenish them. But you can see that they're color coded, and in order to place this one, you would have to have 2 pink cubes on the board where you can place this tile. This one would need a yellow and an orange. In other words, it would have to be something like this situation, because both of these cubes are legal. Then you would take this tile and lay it on those cubes. When you do that, you get the bonus on that tile. And this is says that for 1 to, let's see, 2, 3, 5, and 9 points, depending on how many fountains are showing on your schedule wheel. And once you are placing your men on the islands and your ladies in the lace factory, you open up all these little circles on your schedule wheel, and you uncover coins, you uncover fountains, and is that it? Yeah, coins and fountains. So you uncover those, and when you uncover the coins, that's what you get paid when you go to the bank. When you uncover the fountains, that's what you get paid when you place this bonus tile. So that one placed right there. And then, let's see, do I have some other bonus tiles? Okay, this is a bonus tile for islands. And when you place it, you get a bonus of 2, 5, or 9 points, depending on if you have the majority. It's an area control situation on the islands. If you have that area controlled by your guys, then you will score bonus points for that tile. Now, the thing that also you have to remember is once you place a roofing tile on the Burano island, you also get a bonus of either taking a building tile or 2 privilege points on your player board. And there's nothing to remind you to do that. That we kept forgetting to do. So it's very difficult to remember, and it's something that you have to kind of, we have a player aid card now, but before, when we played the game, we didn't have that. But you have to remember to take this that bonus when you place, even though you get a bonus for the tile itself, you get a bonus for completing that building, and you get 2 privilege points or a building card. Now these building cards are very, very important. I mean, you get 2 points for all the ladies in your factory. Here you get a privilege of being able, if you place a blue or a pink roofing tile on the board, you get 5 points if it's blue, 5 points if it's pink. And then there's one here that says it's a wild. You can use orange or pink for any color. So these building tiles are very nice to get. So once you place a roofing tile, you can choose a building tile or take 2 privilege points. And the privilege points are very important too, because they can buy you extra actions that help you maximize your point total again. But here's the trick again for this game, is once you learn what your actions are on this action board, these tiles that determine the color of your actions to be taken are shuffled every round. So you take them, you shuffle them up, throw 2 down there, 2 down here, and 2 here at the end of the round. And so those colors are going to change every round, and that's the tricky part. Once those colors change, and then once those are appear for everybody, and everybody's seen what the colors are going to be for this round, then you will rebuild your your cube pyramid. And there's rules that are going to govern how many cubes you get, but I won't talk about that. But you're going to rebuild that pyramid, and so you're going to look. You need to look over here and see what colors on this action board of these 3 actions. What do I need to do? Am I hard up for money? I better put some pink and orange cubes on top of that pyramid. Do I want to do some shipping this round? Well, after the orange and pink cubes, I need to make sure I have access to green and blue, because I want to do some shipping, because my schedule wheel is matched up to colors that are on these dock houses, and I want to maximize that while it's available to me. And whenever you do that, you of course get the most points that you can, and it's most beneficial to you to really plan and look ahead to those colors, match the way you should match those colors. Again, this game is about the city of Burano, one of the most colorful cities in the world, and it's all about color. You're matching colors on your schedule wheel, the colors that you're going to use in the cube pyramid, the colors that you're going to use on the main board. And yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful game to look at. It's fun, and it's fun to play. So I hope that gives you a little bit about, I didn't talk about the fish cards. Once you're shipping, if you match these 2 dock houses, you get 2 fishing cards. And there's a whole deck of these cards, and I forget how many kinds of fish there are. But once you get these fishing cards, you can then go to these tiles on the main board, and these are ports, and you can sell these fishing cards at the port. And there's various ones on here. For instance, in the case of this fishing boat, you get 2 points, 6 points, 12 points, and 20 points if you have 4 equal cards. Depending, if you have 2, you get 6 points. If you have 3, you get 12. If you have 4, you get 20 points. And they're all different, so you can sell those fishing cards in the ports. And yeah, I almost forgot to tell you that. But and then once you sell them, they go on your player board. And there's also a building card, and that'll pay you. If you have the building card, it'll pay you for certain fish that you've sold, and they're on your player board. So you get 2 points for every one of these fishing cards that are on your player board. So I almost forgot to tell you that. But hey, you guys, that's Burano. I hope you got a little bit of a feel for how that game works. It's a very complex game, and the most difficult thing about Burano is the rule book, because during the English translation it has quite a few grammatical errors. Excuse me. And when you have grammatical errors in a rule book, that can really change the scope of the game. So you have to kind of take that into account when you read that rule book. But that doesn't take away from the fact that this game is very, very good. And it's, again, very complex. It's a heavy Euro. There are heavier ones out there, but this is pretty heavy. And because you have so many things going on in that game, so many things to think about, and so many things to plan for. I don't know how many times I planned for something and it just didn't work out, and it'll frustrate you. Like, oh my gosh, I didn't see that. There's so many things happening that you're going to miss some of the things. You're going to say, oh, I didn't see that those dock houses match my schedule wheel now. Since I did a lace action, I moved one of my ladies off the schedule wheel, which means the wheel turns, and now it doesn't match. And I was going to do shipping next, so now the colors don't match what I needed for shipping, and things like that will happen to you in this game. But hey, it's no big deal. It's about having a good time and having fun, and Burano delivers that. It's a really great game, and we were able to play the game from the rule book. And but so if you ever get your hands on this game and you have any questions about it, you can leave questions in the comments below the video and ask me questions about any of the iconography on that game board or on these cards, and I will gladly answer you and tell you about them. But also, my wife Lori got on Board Game Geek, and the phone's ringing, and there was a very, very good player aid on there, and we printed it out and shrunk it to size that would work for us, and this is really, really excellent to help you play Burano. Again, it's a meaty game. It's not Parcheesi. It's a tough game to play, and but it's rewarding. It's so rewarding, and that's why after playing it again and after revisiting Burano after about 1.5 years, we've decided to love it, and we're going to keep Burano in our board game collection because simply it's terrific. It's a terrific game, and I believe these were first time board game designers from Taiwan. They did a terrific job. Again, the only thing of the rule book didn't do the game any justice. The game itself is amazing and so much fun, and you saw what it looked like when it was finished. It's so colorful, and we're going to end up keeping it. And geez, I'm going to have to pick something else to get rid of because it's not going to be Burano. And I hope you want to check that game out. And this one is a game that you'll play and put away, and the next time you play it, again, just like me, it'll remind you how beautiful it is and how exciting it is and how wonderful it is to play. So I'm looking forward to going to Dice Tower Con and getting some new games, but I'm going to have to think of another game to get rid of because it's not going to be Burano. It's going to stay in my board game collection for at least another year. So have a great day. I love all of you guys, and make sure you subscribe and hit like, please. See you on the next video. Bye-bye.